for us and run. And also we did have a kerfuffle, but honestly, I'm kind of all in favor of my StreamPunks taking a night off. So I'm actually kind of glad everyone got a little rest and regeneration, but we're back on track here and we're up and running again. We're jumping back into the game tonight. So we'll have a bit of a recap as we kick off the episode when we get started. But for now, let's just jump into some announcements real fast and find out if anybody has anything coming up they'd like to announce before we start the game tonight. Anybody want to say what they're up to? Yeah, Caitlin.
I stream GeoGuessr, as we all know, because I never stop talking about it because it's my favorite thing in the world. A new VOD just went up on my channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It was a bit of a mess as far as the internet goes, but it was still an extremely fun stream. You should go check it out. You should follow me on YouTube. There's a Nightbot command for me geoguessing, and you should check it out. I also am now working on the Tonight is Night Show, which is a fun sort of night show parody show over on Deluxe Video Drift. Our second episode will be happening at the end of the month. But in the meantime, there have been some really cool one-off shows that some folks have been hosting. There was one solo RPG musical where the person improvised all of the music, like all of the backing tracks while they played the solo RPG, which was extremely cool. And I think they want to do it again. So you should follow Deluxe Video Drift or dvd.bz on Blue Sky to find out when all those are happening.
Right on. Okay. Thank you, Caitlin. Anybody else? Jump on in.
Yeah, I can go up next. I am in ttrpg stuff. The main thing I will shout is Sacred Machinations, of course. Check it out on all podcast services. I just recorded an episode today that was very, very cool. We recorded one last week as well, which was probably my favorite, but I keep saying that every week, so I don't know. Probably next week I'm going to say the exact same thing. But another thing I'll shout out is over on Table Story. I've been guesting, like I mentioned. I started as a guest and kind of became semi-permanent / permanent, and we're going to be going into the finale of Deathless, our VTM meets Otherworld actual play. And it's sounding like there's going to be some fights and some drama, and who knows if any of us are going to survive, let alone my character. So if you want to check that out and experience it along with me, check it out over on Table Story on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, that's me.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, Noir. Sorry, Drac. Noir, do you have anything you'd like to announce?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
First off, to my Start Playing Games folks, we just wrapped up our Star Trek game. So one Last Excelsior to the crew of the USS Lax, named after Henrietta Lacks. It was an absolute pleasure playing with y'all. This is more of a I have an announcement that an announcement is coming, which is keep an eye on the socials this week. There are two incredibly, I can't believe it, announcements coming, especially if you enjoyed our Daggerheart game Bidden. And speaking of Daggerheart, we did a fundraiser for my friend Daniel Hargrove, who is trying to raise funds to get to PAX Unplugged. And that is my last announcement. I just officially got the notification that I will be at PAX Unplugged, so I will see you guys there. But that is me. Keep an eye on the socials. I'm so excited.
Weren't you on an interview recently? An interview podcast recently?
Oh, not. Yes,
or it's about to come out.
Yes, it's about to come out with Shelley Von Miller after the table. It was if you want to hear two goobers giggle for an hour or two, please be sure to check it out. We talk all things ttrpg, and since we both do interviewing shows, you are going to hear tons of stories about booking and booking nightmares. But that's excellent.
All right. Thanks, Noir. Anybody else have anything else they'd like to announce before we start? Anyone else being just the one person that's left?
Hi. Yes. It is I, the leftover.
The USS
leftover. The leftover?
The leftover. That is correct. No episode of May Contain Science. Again, tomorrow morning, I assure you, no one is more disappointed than I am. Please blame my corporeal betrayal. Thank you.
As someone who's been suffering insomnia for the past 2 months, I feel ya.
If everyone would join me in going to the May Contain Science YouTube and liking every single video, that
Like
would
and
be
subscribe.
rich. Like
And subscribe.
Thank you.
Do it or else.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate the support. Go learn
Well,
about science.
Happy to say that Jake is back in the land of the living. And
Woo!
with that, we are going to jump into tonight's episode of The Last Excelsior. Welcome back. Let's jump into a quick recap because it's been a couple of weeks. So where we last left off was the crew was essentially reality jumping. You guys were quantum leaping into different moments and different times and different universes in order to repair the shatter points created by this Romulan who was attempting to unravel history in the favor of some terrible future that would initiate a Romulan empire that would be dominant across the galaxy for all time. That was the dream anyway. And in order to get there, pieces on the chessboard had to be moved around in such a way that it would cause these events to take place. And some of them are quite subtle and innocuous, but set off a chain of reactions. And down the row, she got what she wanted until she realized she miscalculated and erased things that were important to her and was desperately trying to make amends because now all of a sudden the face-eating jaguars had found her. So the face-eating leopard. Sorry, it's either jaguars or leopards. You can take your pick. In this case, she made a deal with the very entity that she had taken advantage of, the Guardian of Forever. The deal was, if she wanted to get back what she had lost, all she needed to do was put the pieces back in place. Unfortunately, that was not going to be possible without significant amounts of help. And it wasn't going to be possible unless somebody was able to enter a time stream and manipulate events in such a way as to make history not record the time variable. And the only way to do this is to find people who had been saturated with variant anti-chronoton particles. Enter crew of the USS Pride, who were on the trail of this Romulan since episode 1, when they stumbled across a echo of this Romulan up to no good. So the crew has been leaping around and jumping into alternate reality versions of themselves to correct moments in time. And this latest one is a doozy. You guys jumped into a reality into which all of you were assimilated by the collective, but at some point, each of you broke free of the collective, becoming individuals once more, and have been supposedly on the run, is the way you've come to understand it. There's one thing, it's a through line that's worth pointing out. is that in each reality, each of you has managed to find each other, and each of you has managed to tell a tale with each other. And in this case, whether you might call it heartwarming glass half full aspect, despite the darkness of it all, you were all assimilated and escaped together. But this is going to pay off. The Shatterpoint moment in this particular timeline has something to do with a species that is near extinction thanks to the efforts of the Borg Collective. You have all answered a distress call to an oceanic planet, a Class Y planet, was generally known as a demon planet. They're incredibly inhospitable. Life cannot survive on the surface of these worlds. And I stress the surface because that's not where you all are right now. In fact, what you all discovered when responding to this distress signal is that it is an oceanic world, but not a pretty tropical, beautiful, idealistic oceanic world. Indeed, the entire surface of this planet that is covered largely in water is little more than a giant ocean of sulfuric acid that is just lazily drifting and crashing about on the surface. However, you found a silt layer a little over a mile beneath the surface. Underneath that silt layer, a natural ocean with a somewhat regulated temperature begins to form. Inside this shell of death and mayhem is an ecosystem, or at least a sparse one, a place where life could potentially exist. And that is where a distress signal was coming from. Species known as 11041. They call themselves the Rugen. You all made contact. Not only did you make contact, but in a spectacular feat of piloting, you brought a Borg sphere into the ocean and got it just to the boundaries of that outer layer. Now, thankfully, it's a Borg sphere. Its technology, its shields, its hull can tolerate being a mile underneath a sulfuric acidic ocean. However, this ocean goes deep, shockingly deep. And in this case, the location of which the distress signal was being sent out from is 16 miles below the surface. Now, to give you guys listening to this at home some perspective, the deepest point on Earth is roughly 7.5. I think one of the deepest points is close to, actually, I might need to double that. Titanic was 6 miles down. It keeps going. How deep is Mariana Trench? That is
About 10K.
Yeah, 10 meters, 42,000. Yeah, nice. In miles.
And you can
So-
find out about microbial life at the bottom of that trench.
Yeah.
If you want, by the way, just saying.
So 7 miles. I was correct, as it turns out. Approximately 11 kilometers or 7 miles deep. Very, 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 very deep. So 16 miles deep is jaw-droppingly deep in the ocean. Down here, to give you guys some statistics, which I think you'll enjoy, especially if you're a Sam DeLev, the atmospheres down here is roughly 2,552 atmospheres, or roughly 37,596 psi. Or to put another way, roughly 18.795 tons per square inch of pressure where you guys are right now. Literally the weight of an entire world's ocean sitting on top of you. And yet there is a colony down here. You all beamed down here, which was a feat unto itself, because beaming through water is possible, but it usually takes a little longer than normal because there's a lot of molecules involved beaming through water. When you arrived, you had staged rather clever tactic to try to disarm the situation. So the Rugen, apparently not only scarred by the fact that they have been driven to near extinction because they are not compatible for assimilation, their technology was absorbed, and the Borg basically wiped out most of what was left. These are people that fled and have established a colony here at the bottom of the ocean. When they found out you were all Borg, they were certain their moment had come. When you all arrived, though, not only had you successfully expressed interest in helping, which was already, as they well know, as anybody would, having any familiarity with Borg, way out of character. The fact that you were all talking like people and not like regurgitated machine text dialogue, and that you weren't making demands on their society or their culture, lest they be assimilated or killed, they decided to take a chance. You all showed up. Well, I think specifically, was it just one of you that showed up as to not appear threatening?
That's the captain.
And if I remember correctly, Captain, you are wearing something?
I think you're muted.
Oh, you're still
Still
muted.
can't hear you.
Oh, this is what happens. Is still muted. This is so we were
Oh no.
uh-oh. The Borg are staging interference.
It was working before. It was
It was
good.
working
You
before.
did it. You
We
did
were
so
just
good
talking
before.
about how Noir was scrambling to get text stuff. This is like I've given Noir my sound issues. Is what's happened.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's been
That's
transferred.
what happened.
Rude.
I inserted my sound issue nanites into Noir's stream, and now that's what's happening. You could go there if you wanted to, Caitlin, but I urge you not
And
to.
like I will because it's funny, but you know.
It is.
What?
However, I urge you not to.
I thought it. I didn't say anything.
But what?
No, but you're handsome. If that makes you feel any better. If
Still
you
can't hear you.
if handsomeness could just get us through this. Wait, I hear you.
Wait, I hear
I
you.
hear you.
I hear you now.
What did you do?
All right. So, you know what? I love Stream Deck. It's so great in theory.
I'm glad somebody does.
I am in a plaid suit, a blue button up with a bow tie, and a fez atop my head. Because those are cool.
To give you a quick reminder of who you're standing in front of, the culture known as the Rugen are an aquatic race that look like they are similar to crustaceans on Earth. They look crab-like. They have a thick, hardened outer dermal layer that looks like a crab shell. In some places, actually has different colorations of deep reds, oranges, and blues, which is indicative as well of a lot of crustacean life. Looks like they are roughly some on the taller end of about 4 to 4.5 feet tall. Each of them has the multiple legs. Judging from what you can see, actually, you would have detailed files on them. All of you were capable of calling those up. But they have 6 legs, just like a crab would. Capable of using, they have 4 different arm appendages. And they don't have the bulky, flattened body that crabs do. Theirs angles out a little bit more, similar more in form to a mantis shrimp, the way they kind of angle upwards, though they don't resemble quite the same physiology, but it does look like a strange cross between. Judging from the way they are dressed, they are also covered in tools and decorations, like decorated platings and whatnot. Something tribal significance of some kind you can see on markings on their shells, as well as carvings and engravings. However, their body language would be impossible for a normal humanoid to be able to discern. However, you are Borg and you have detailed files on their physiology, their psychology, everything. It's a little dark, but you do have it. Which means, Captain, as you beam in and they take stock of you, you see there is one of the Rugen that is in front of you, about 20, 25 feet from where you were standing. And they are flanked by a group of Rugen. All of them you recognize immediately as they are armed with weapons and are flanking this lead Rugen. Then there's a few more behind that you can't really see, but your Borg implant easily counts about 14 in here. And much, perhaps, I'll let you decide whether or not it's upsetting or not. But your implant also immediately does a tactical threat assessment on each one of them. You're able to figure out where the weak points in their shell casings would be if you had to kill them. You just see this readout start to come up on your display before it is set into a secondary file. You just become aware of it. However, your body language read, without having to roll, you see hostility from one in particular that's just behind the lead. The one in the lead, however, you see heightened anxiety, trepidation, and cautious curiosity. There is a silence when you first appear. There is no one that speaks or moves.
Immediately put my hands up. I understand that my appearance can be quite jarring, especially considering the history of your people. I assure you that I mean no harm. I only mean to help. You can call me the captain.
Quiet as they take in your words. And you get the impression, Jaren, it's very likely they've never heard a Borg speak like this before. So there's this momentary confusion when one of the ones that's exhibiting the hostility, you hear the clacking sound of its legs as it leans over to the lead. You only catch a word or two, but it's making mention of the strange cloth you have draped over your armor. It seems like it's cautioning that it's probably some new weapon, some new device.
This is a sport jacket. It is different from a blazer or tuxedo in the cut.
One of them behind the hostile one says, "It can hear you." Before any other words are uttered, though, the one in the lead takes a couple of steps forward to distance itself from the hostile one and to take point. And it steps forward. It says, "I, Lazui."
Hello, Lazuli. I'm the captain. I have friends that also would like to help you, but I came alone because I could understand how multiple, well, many of mine appearing in your property could be considered a threat. I do not wish to escalate. I only wish to help.
The one behind it steps forward as you say this. And as soon as you finish your words, it barks out, "Nutot, have no friends. Nutot, kill." Again, your translator, just so you know, Nutot basically is a slur used against Borg. It basically means metal shell in their language. And he seems to be referencing directly to you.
Former Nutot. The lack of friends made it unappealing to be one.
Lazui angles to the one to its right, who seems hostile and angry at your presence. And you catch a few of the words as it speaks in a hushed tone, but Lazui seems to indicate that if the Borg were here to kill them all, death would be happening right now. And that this alone is reason to talk. The one seems to defer to Lazui and takes a couple of steps back, but you can see the rage. It's interesting, Jaren, because across all of your experiences in meeting species, from Bajoran to the Rugen, it all looks the same. You can see that that indicator of rage, of seeing the face of something that has done irreparable harm to its people. It looks like it's not seeing you, Jaren. It sees Borg. It takes a couple of steps back, but it obeys what Lazui says reluctantly.
I am going to move, but I am moving very slowly. Your friend here seems to think that my sports jacket is a weapon. If that is the case, it behooves me to disarm. And I just take it off and I put it on the floor and I step back.
You drop it on the floor. Everyone seems to watch in rapt curiosity and confusion. And Lazui's eyes, one eye is watching you drop it on the floor as the other one eye stays on you. When Lazui brings his full attention back to you and says, "When you say sport, do you mean like game?"
Yes, it's but for more casual events. You would wear a sports jacket at, let's say, a tennis game. Go and see something like that, but you wouldn't wear one to prom. Or at least you shouldn't. It's a Terran tradition where the young amongst their numbers practice courting rituals that would later lead to an embarrassment and stories that they'll make movies about that do not age well.
One of the Rugen from behind says, "What is Terran?" Lazui angles back and looks back and says, "Yes, what is Terran?"
Oh, it is a planet that has the liquid that covers your world is much stronger than what covers Terran, in the sense that the biological life forms that inhabit Terran would not be able to survive naturally on your world. I am of command, not science. I wouldn't be able to explain it to a point that I believe would be satisfactory, but I would love to tell you stories that I've heard.
It's okay.
Is it okay
Lazuli-
if I put my hands down?
Yes.
Thank you.
You lower your hands, and Lazuli says, I am scientist.
Oh. Are you aware of the chemical components, composition H2O? That's what covers the majority of Terra, with some areas, salt, but that's not important. Basically, it's H2O.
I think perhaps a key will be required.
But the matter at hand is we are here to help you. We understand that you've been devastated by Borg, and despite my appearance, I can tell you that I relate to your suffering.
Why would Borg suddenly help us? Borg kill us.
Because time is a funny thing. It has a way of making what occurs seem ridiculous. This may be the beginning of healing what was done to you. I can't tell you exactly why I am here, but I am glad that I am. After fear comes strength. I promise.
You speak wise words, but the actions of your people have been indescribable.
No longer my people. There's a thing to consider. The metal shell that come to your world did not become metal shells willingly. You were attacked by an army of organics that were ripped away from their homes, their lives, forced to adopt a way of thinking, a culture, an understanding, and tactics that are not their own.
Could you explain the relationship structure in the Borg? We
Of
wish
course.
to understand you. And what you mean when you say no longer your people.
The Borg function under the understanding that it is best practice to take the best from a people and discard the rest. But true wisdom and true understanding is understanding that everything that is a part of a person is the best part. You were massacred because they didn't see the worth in you. If they were wise enough, you would become the very metal shell that you loathe. That is what they do. Something about you is so special that time itself has bent to aid you. I cannot explain further than that.
Clicks, legs turn, faces his people and says a few words to them. You catch that he believes it would be best if a few of them remained so he could speak. There's a protest immediately from the more hostile one. They go back and forth for a moment. The universal translator picks up a few of their words, as the Borg have limited cultural linguistic input. They didn't spend a lot of time talking to them. Absorbing their technology, you have a full database of their written word, however. So you're able to pick up a lot of some of the words that you wouldn't otherwise probably understand some of the references that they're making. You definitely get that from their end, Jaren, that they probably don't have as much of a database on your language. So they're making some leaps of logic to understand what you're telling them. There's a bit of a divide. However, Lazui seems very open to you at this point. He seems like he's taking in your words. And a few of the others choose to stay while the room begins to filter out a little bit. The more hostile one backs away, but doesn't leave the room. Lazui finally turns back to you.
As Borg, am I able to go into their system and instead of taking, give them my language?
Yes, you would have to interact with it directly. You would need to find a computer console and interact with it. There are some in this room, but they are not on the side of the room you are standing on.
I would.
Wait. You have an ability, don't you?
My
Do you have a specific implant?
Yeah, my oh my god, I'm lost for words today. My you will be assimilated. My assimilation
No. You had a different tech that like let you interact with technology without touching it.
Oh, remotely. That's true.
Yeah.
I do have the remote yes, the neural implant that lets me communicate with computers from a distance.
Yeah.
So can I just use that to upload my language into the computer?
You your implant, if you have that implant, it will allow you to remotely connect and interface with the computer. But I do need to give you a warning as a storyteller. If it's possible that if you interface with their computers without any heads up, knowledge, or permission, that they will see that as an attack.
Yeah, maybe tell them first.
Right. No, I was absolutely gonna. I
just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, it's one of those things where they might see that as an intrusion.
It would help us if we could communicate more efficiently. I have the means to provide your technology with the full understanding of my language. It will involve me tapping into your systems, if I may.
Immediately. The larger one in the back comes forward again, brandishing a weapon. The weapon looks like it is an enhancement to a claw that it has. And it looks like it bulbs out a little bit, slides over the top part of a shell. If you didn't know any better, Jaren, you would say that is a modified version of a weapon you know that they have that essentially works like a kind of a plasma caster that uses some kind of superheated energy attack. The Borg are already capable of adapting to it after a couple of shots, but you do know that it is a lethal weapon. However, as the approach happens, Lazui seems to know that this was going to happen the moment you made the request, because Lazui's moving the same moment the hostile one moves and intercepts it, steps in front of him. And this time, not taking his voice down. You hear the clicking sounds of Lazui speaking to him and saying, if he wanted to do that, if he wanted to harm us, it would be done. We cannot stop them from accessing our systems. He is asking. And
if I may,
yeah, go ahead.
Please place your weapon here. The moment I act in a way that threatens your people, fire.
See, he invites death. Let me give it to him. No. Stop. Stand back. We agreed. And the hostile one again gives Lazui a long stare, like his patience is being tested, but he backs down a second time. And Lazui says, forgive. This one has endured much and is our current warrior captain, keeping safe what is left. We cannot stop Borg from interacting with our databases. But if you think this would help, we invite. And it motions to one of the computer consoles.
I'm just gonna feed. I'm just gonna feed it the languages that I know.
Okay. You begin to access it immediately. You don't have to make a roll because the Borg already have this on file. There's a couple of things you glean just from this interactivity. Not only do you get a general cleanup of database and understanding of their language, as well as being able to offer up yours as well, but you get a snapshot of what's going on here, judging from what you're able to see on the outside, because you're just giving them a download of your language. Judging from the root menus and the upload of your language, this place doesn't seem like it was meant to be a colony. From the files as you're uploading, it looks like it is an old research station of theirs. Probably built close to maybe 20 years ago, judging from the files and the date of the files that you see as you're uploading all this information. Once it's uploaded, your systems begin to process it. And as they do, Zui, standing in the front, says, "We are in danger."
Yes, yes, you are.
We,
But less so now.
if you are wishing to help us, we have significant power failures. Rugen are not meant to survive in this environment. This is not originally Rugen's homeworld. That is gone. This was refuge. Hidden refuge from Borg. But facility not designed for the amount of refuge we have. Strain on the power systems has been great. And while we have managed 6 weeks ago, seismic event damaged hydrothermal plant. Colony is dying. If colony dies, Rugen die.
Rugen will not die. And with that, I would like to contact the others in the network. I know that we're able to do that without actually talking.
Yep.
Team, I'm gonna give you the information that I've gleaned. Please see if there is a habitable world for the Rugen anywhere within the sector that we are in, or anywhere that our vessel might be able to traverse. This colony is not suitable to. This is a band-aid. We need to help these people.
Aye, sir.
Hi, Captain.
Oh, I needed to hear that. I was too much in the Borg mindset. Thank you guys. Oh, this is weird. Oh, it like kind of goes back to. I have a team. They would very much like to help all of you, but they are like me.
More Borg, as you
Yes.
call yourselves.
Ex-Borg, but I won't argue about the particulars.
Ex-Borg. That seems to register as an understanding of what you're trying to communicate. Very well. If
I think when Tavine talked to them on the comms, I think she used the word liberated Borg, and so maybe that would they didn't understand what she was saying, so maybe now it makes sense.
maybe now it's clicking, literally, in their brain about what you were trying to say. But you see some recognition. If you have others that can help, then we will welcome them.
I'm gonna look at the aggroed wood and just go.
He's looking for a reason. He's just staring at you. In a way that a lidless creature can, only a lidless-eyed creature can stare at someone.
I ask you that if you should lose your temper and feel the need to attack, you do it to me. The people I bring are my people. They're my responsibility. I will not have your justified rage take one of my own. Please, focus your fire here if you must. And on that, they're ready for your arrival.
I want to tackle the first request from the captain of trying to find a habitable planet for the Rugen.
Yeah.
My worry here is if I'm able to send a scan out, that means I could get scanned back. We could get scanned back. Is that a like valid worry?
If you send out a scan, will you be detected?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thankfully, if this was Star Wars, yes. Star Trek, though, no, not necessarily. Not unless you direct the scan at someone particular. People cannot detect, unless they scan you, they cannot tell you are scanning somebody.
We also have databases too. We could probably like combine scans with our
You actually shout out to Luthen.
yeah. Fucking legendary character. So the principle is basically you can tell if you're being scanned. But you cannot tell if somebody is like scanning unless you are scanning them or you have a passive scan going in there in line of sight or something like that. So if you detect Romulans on long range sensors, you won't be able to tell what they're up to until you get in range and scan them. In this case, if you were just surveying, you would be fine. You wouldn't have to worry about that. However, what you do have to worry about is the two most powerful sensor suites that the Federation has ever encountered have been the Dominion and the Borg. They just have deep space, high def sensor scans on just about everything. So,
4K baby.
So above table, do we want to send half of us down and keep some people up on the ship to keep looking for our next step? Like, what are we feeling for the crew?
I'm happy to stay on the Borsket ball.
God damn it.
I'm always happy to stay on the ship. I don't think I'll be very useful down there when it comes to fixing things, which it sounds like they need fixing.
Do we want to send... I don't know if Zarya has any engineering experience, but we could... Tavine has some engineering experience. We could send Tavine and Zarya. Well, maybe not. Maybe we don't send the hothead downward to the other hothead.
Yeah.
Table.
It's tasty.
We do send the security to where there's a real jumpy fella.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's possible, yeah. I'm just gonna pull up Zarya's sheet real quick to double check.
I don't know, maybe
I think you're actually right. I think because when I basically revamped Zarya, I asked Bonnie for notes, and Bonnie made it pretty clear that Zarya is really good at using engineering for boosting weapons, and that's about it. Like,
actually, Tavine might actually be the good call here
because
she's so level-headed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
just
I don't think it's a bad idea to send Taeyeon either, because like that guy's looking at our captain is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I also think the captain will be fine against this guy.
Yeah, but it's what you're built for, buddy.
Full Terrence Crawford.
The response that you get from what you said out loud, Jaren, is a series of quick clicking sounds coming from this Rugen, and it does not sound friendly. Your Borg database is telling you it would be the equivalent of if you said what you said, and the equivalent reaction physicality would be like somebody popping their neck and like flexing their muscles like they're ready. It's kind of the same sort of aggressive like readying themselves if they have to, kind of
I'm
situation.
learning jock in a new language. I like
Totally. Yeah, totally. Totally
You
acting
wanna
like
go, bro?
yeah, totally. It's absolutely posturing. Yes.
Yeah, so I
I'm
think
with
then in
it,
your
I'm with it.
in your mind, in our little board connection, you get back from Tavine saying, "Captain, I believe our most of the team will stay to follow up on your inquiry about suitable habitation. But I can join you if we need to do some reinforcing of that band-aid while we're here."
It is greatly required, so please, as soon as you can, make your way.
Hi, sir.
There is one individual that is extraordinarily interested in our demise, so please come through with an abundant amount of caution.
I believe I would be concerned if they were fully welcoming, sir. I appreciate their caution.
As do I.
All right, I'll get ready. I'll get some basic stuff. If we have like tools, do I know if there's like tools up here? Like anything I can
think
bring
the tools
or,
might
like,
be in our
we
body.
are?
They're kind
Yeah.
of built into you.
Okay, cool. Then
Um,
I'll get ready to.
The
Work
Borg
down.
have an ability to universally react with just about all technology. One of the things that makes them so terrifying is that they can literally adapt on the spot if they need to and interact with the system. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Biological distinctness.
Then if we've been given the all clear, then Tavine will head down.
Okay. So you and Tavine beaming down.
Mm-hmm.
So Cadence, you're staying topside with the Borg ship.
Yep, I'm having a ball.
All right. So you two beam on down.
No, so I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
staying,
Tavine
I'm
coming
staying on
down.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Tavine.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So Tavine, you materialize next to your captain and basically see in person this species. Now, Tavine, on an explorer level, indeed, I think anybody with a scientific bent here would be fascinated. This is a species the Borg have not been able to assimilate, and so their reaction was to destroy them. Already, the implications of learning more about their physiology in an information exchange would be immensely beneficial of figuring out how it is that their physiology is able to reject Borg nanites. That's
God, if only we had sent a science-minded person down
I
here.
know.
Tavine
The
is ready
Vulcan
to fix
appears and just
stuff.
goes, "Damn it, the wrong Vulcan flavor."
Wrong Vulcan, unfortunately. The Vulcan with the science dump
that's
stat.
messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As you appear, there's not a change in any of the physicality of the more aggressive one. He stays very still where he is. But the moment you materialize next to the captain, Tavine, you can automatically see the hostility. Your Borg implants and your knowledge, your innate knowledge of their physiology, you can tell that this creature is very ready to go. Quick update too, because you all have a basic tactical understanding. These creatures, as they're not very big, they're roughly about 4 feet in height.
Short
As considered tall, so like 4.5 feet tops. So they are not like they're not imposing in height. However, they are known for being the Borg have them listed as basically they're very quick, and maybe similar to mantis shrimps on Earth. The tool that they have, they're capable of delivering blows at such rapid succession that the eye has difficulty following it. It's very similar in that regards to a mantis shrimp. They can hit really, really hard and really fast. However, they are not known for having very good ranged weaponry. Most of their culture seems to develop around their melee weaponry. So, anyway,
Hello, my name
New
is
sparring
Tavine.
partners.
I am
Yeah.
Tavine. I am the helmsperson for the captain. I have a bit of engineering experience, and we'd like to help. I believe I spoke with someone named Lazui over the comms.
that would be me. I am Lazui. I am currently the head of our colony and chief scientist.
Excellent to meet you.
May I inquire?
Hey.
There is
Anything.
noticeable physiological differences in Borg. Is this normal?
Yes. The Borg are not a single biological type. They are absorbed from other cultures.
A collective of conquered people.
Yes.
That seems to finally click. That seems to get him to finally understand. You see him stiffen a little bit. You are the ones. You are what it is to be assimilated.
And then removed. Assimilated is to speak and act like the Borg you are familiar with. They all operate under a single sort of technological consciousness and act as one, under the same will, I suppose. We are liberated Borg, ex-Borg, which means we have been severed from the collective. We do not hear them.
One of the Rugen in the back seems almost excited by this. Moves closer to Lazui and says, "You are right. Your theory. I was close. I wasn't right. Then you are all conquered people."
Formally, you're free now. You're something else.
Lazui takes a few steps forward now, and his demeanor changes and says, "Then you are like us. You are like the Rugen."
Yes. If I may, it seems that you were on the right track. Might I complete your research? And I would like to access the computer again and just lord
Give
up
them the
on
lowdown.
board, like on everything.
You do an info dump on the Borg. What you discover is their technology levels are roughly the Rugen's technology is roughly where the Federation was at during the Enterprise era. So it's quite rudimentary. They're like just basically breaking into warp flight. But you do see that in their databases, they have some pretty extraordinary feats of engineering with regards to terraforming. It speaks to their ingenuity that they were able to build this research station. But it looks like they have also managed to create an extraordinary form of hydrothermal power here at the bottom of the ocean. Judging from the fact that they created an artificial hydrothermal vent here, which is an extraordinary feat of engineering for someone at their technology levels. But what you also glean in that brief instance, Noir, is that Jaren sees the silt layer that is gathered on the surface is artificial. It is a it is a manipulation of the natural environments to form this inner shell, this protective shell. So they have the ability to manipulate water environments for terraforming purposes, and it looks like it's non-evasive to the natural environments of the world that they're on. You can see why this might interest the Borg. That being said, though, as you finished downloading all of the information you have, you realize that their databases are near capacity at this point as you give them all the information. That doesn't seem to bother Lazui one bit, though, as they take note of the data download and are eagerly looking at what you're doing.
You're out of storage, or you're running very low.
I shall make more.
Our captain is hoping to get you somewhere safer, more stable. He called this a temporary solution. What is the ideal environment, planet type, for you and your people that we could help you find somewhere new?
Rugen are always most comfortable near a sea, but we can exist anywhere. We are a diverse, hardy lot of people. We had multiple colonies before we lost contact with them, and then the Borg showed. It was like a creeping darkness over our star charts. One by one, colonies began to go dark, until eventually they appeared in our homeworld.
It is my hope, if you and yours will allow, that we find you a proper home.
If this is possible, I acknowledge Rugen cannot survive here. This was last desperate attempt to avoid the Borg. It seemed to have worked. But then other issues became obvious as we were solving problems as they came. But now the power issues. If we lose power, and we will in the next 3 days, once this happens, this structure will be crushed.
Will you or someone show me? I can take a look and see what I can do in the meantime.
Yes, I can take you both to the areas that require the most work.
I'm also going to pass along what they said about their ideal environments to our people in the sphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, not that the board don't have all their information, but I want to hear it like from like what they want, you know, like what they say.
Okay, so top side. Meanwhile, back
Yes, we're
on the
engaging
sphere.
in a conspiracy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Top side, the remaining 2 members of the Pride are collaborating on how they can finish assimilating the poor Rugen once and for all. No, while y'all are back on the sphere, before anything else happens, while this has all been taking place, what have the 2 of you been doing? Just observing, tracking, monitoring?
I think I'm looking through the database. Even before I've gotten the specific specifications from the region themselves, I'm looking through the database to see if I don't know how up to date our database is since we were liberated. I don't know. I don't think we get like frequent updates.
Yeah, you were severed from
Um,
the collective, so you don't have active
Yeah.
access.
Yeah. So even if it's like kind of old data, they might have access to or something. I want to see if I can figure out either planets that would have the seas and waters that region would prefer. And then upon potentially hearing the specifications, or at least the mention of the other colonies, to see if I can see what the similarities or between the different colony planets they chose were, and find if there's like a perfect medium
Okay.
of all those planets somewhere.
I would say go ahead and roll me a d20. This is where I get to break out this Star Trek Adventure 2nd Edition Exploration Guide.
15.
15. Okay. Your first, go ahead. Okay, so roll me a sensors plus science.
What's the census plus science for the Borg?
Oh, that's true. I'm giving you the ship. I'm calling you for the ship stats, aren't I? Yeah. I can pull that up. Give me 1 second. I'm using a conversion because they actually don't have the Borg stats for 2nd edition just yet. So I'm using a conversion for these guys. Borg sphere. Just thinking, wouldn't it be funny if I just wrote an entire game session that was like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead style, that just detailed one of you getting lost in time and space and then finding a way to try to get yourself back to the Federation to get help. And you're able to do this by mailing yourself to the nearest Federation space station. And the moment you wake up, you immediately encounter the crew of the Sally Ride who try to kill you, even though you try to explain that you're actually a good guy and a Federation officer, but you're beamed into space and shot by
God.
What if the big reveal the whole time?
This was the backs of this whole
Yeah.
show was a
This whole
backstory to the
It's
board
all a
that got blown
backstory
up
to that Borg
and
being
on the
mailed
Shield
to
of Tomorrow.
space. That's a lower decks episode if ever there was. No, wait. Okay, Borg sphere. Here we go. So you are going to be rolling sensors. Ooh, sensor science. So 13 or lower for the Borg sphere, and then whoever wants to roll their stats for this roll for the.
I mean, I guess I'm the one that's going through the process. I'll roll my
Roll sphere.
It's a reason science roll sphere. Yeah, it's a reason science check, and then whoever wants to roll for the sphere.
The Borg sphere rubber ducky. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Real duck.
I got 2 successes on my roll.
2 successes. Okay, cool. And how'd the sphere do?
Oh, who's rolling
I don't
sphere?
wanna- I can roll sphere as well if no
Yeah.
one's
Oh,
rolling.
I
it.
assumed the other person on the sphere was rolling it. That's why.
14 on the die.
Okay.
So close.
2 successes. All right, so you rolled a 15 for the d20 roll. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so long-range sensors, the first one you detect is a class in-world, which unfortunately wouldn't be much better than where you are right now. Class in-worlds are basically like Venus. So you have a pretty hostile gaseous world with thick blankets of carbon dioxide and acid rain. It's probably not going to be conducive. That's your first attempt as you continue to conduct scans.
Way to go, Drax. Call.
I think I just keep at it.
Okay.
I don't have any.
You keep at it. It's mostly we're
directions.
kind of like an informal extended task right now. So I'll just
Yeah.
be calling upon this.
I'm monitoring, keeping an eye out, since we will eventually have incoming.
Cadence. Last y'all heard that there was a dispatched Borg scout ship that had been directed in y'all's direction. However, once you had all submerged into the ocean, sensors became very difficult to detect that particular Borg craft anymore. You are noticing too that one of the things that's probably hampering your ability to scan and that's making it so you're only kind of pinging one planet at a time is the fact that you're all submerged under the water right now, and all of the interference in the upper atmosphere is making it difficult to penetrate outwards. Remember, this place was chosen because it was somewhat cloaked from the Borg. It's very likely you would never have detected this colony had they not sent out an SOS.
Yeah.
So, Cadence, let me just go ahead and have you roll, because you never know. You are a highly competent Starfleet Borg officer.
Something like that.
Do we have any momentum?
Hi.
Yeah.
So there
I
was
exist.
yes, 2 automatically.
So do
So
I.
at the end of last session, I wrote down a note from Eric that said +2 momentum.
Okay.
And does that, like, we couldn't remember what or why that was. That due to the fez of it all? Or?
Yes, you guys had successfully,
Okay.
because the odds against you making nice with a species that has been absolutely decimated by the Borg was, the odds were not great, and you guys managed to pull it off. So to reward you, I threw down 2 momentum for you guys to start this game off with.
So then
So
I
whatever-
have a 4.
That's on top of whatever momentum that any of Sam's talents or any of y'all's talents will let you have at the top of the game. You get an additional 2.
Okay, so 4.
Yeah, that'd be 4.
Yeah, so I'm gonna yoink
Kid-
one of those. Is what's up.
Can I pitch an idea at y'all?
Fire away.
We're Borg. We should lead into this. How about we create a trait called adaptive sensors? Because that's what Borg do, right? So since we've got water and stuff kind of blocking the signal, why don't we spend a little time making our sensors adapt to it, and then that way when we go out to look for planets, instead of one at a time, we do the full spread.
I'm down to give that a
Ready
try.
for
If it's
war.
possible.
Selective amplification of non-interfering frequencies.
Jam.
Okay. So what
But
I
if
will
you
say,
think about it, there are going to be some wavelengths that penetrate very easily through water and some that don't. And
yeah.
so you selectively amplify the things that aren't blocked by thousands and thousands of freaking kilometers, whatever, of water. You just selectively amplify non-interfering frequencies.
I mean, that's basically the same thing as not just kidding.
Yeah, it is, Captain. I'm making it happen, is what's happening.
all right. In which case,
Or,
if you
not.
create, are you creating that trait? Then is that what's happening?
Spending 2 momentum for the trait, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Creating that trait means y'all will be able to use your adaptive systems to drop the difficulty on getting better scans reaching out of the planet moving forward.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, then the difficulty of 3 is going to drop down to 2 as you
Great.
guys adapt to some of the interference. It's not the water, it's the storm above, it's the silt layer that's been artificially created. It's a whole bunch of sci-fi things that are actually getting in the way here. You are able, however, to completely adapt to compensate to have an average roll here. So, reason science, and whoever wants to roll for the Borg sphere, you need a 13 or better, or lower.
Bad news about that.
Oh dear.
Assists only matter
If you
when
succeed.
the player making the roll has gotten at least one success.
It's true.
Yeah.
Did you spend? Did you take that momentum spend?
Oh yes.
Oh, you did. Okay.
And yet, there's a reason I don't effing do this. This is a reason this is not a thing we effing do. Properly, this is a Frawley, but guess what?
All right.
Chicken butt, that's correct.
This is correct. With that, Zarya comes to stand next to you. She looks around and says, "How's that scan going?"
Could be worse. Somehow.
Cool. Can I ask you something? Are you related to our Helms officer?
Is this pertinent to the mission?
God, no. That's exactly why I'm asking you. I need something else right now. I'm
Hey, Frawley, could you help me take a look at these scans?
all right.
We don't have a Raleigh. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, right, we don't have a
No.
That was for us not having a Raleigh. That's really funny, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. As you say that out loud, there is a nod, and Zari says, "Yeah, I did that earlier too. I reached out to tap my
No, there's no need. No.
I tapped my comm badge when I was going to try to reach out to the captain, and ding ding.
I can simply be embarrassed. It's fine.
Oh.
I'm doing it right now, very successfully.
Oh.
Mm.
I'll memorize this. I didn't think it was capable for a hotshot pilot like yourself to be embarrassed.
I will have you know, I am capable of pretty much anything I set my mind to. That's what it means to be a hotshot.
I see. So you are embarrassed with expert precision.
Never anyone did it better.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still suck at making scans, though, is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, science was never my thing unless I was trying to find a weak spot on a ship.
Right. Or I was trying to fly through the weak spot. This is not. I
wonder if we're thinking tactically here.
Yeah.
And she does something that looks unusual for a Borg to do, but she turns around and leans up against the wall, kicks her ankle over the other ankle. She kind of enters a more relaxed jet posture and says, I don't know if there's like a rule that we don't know about, maybe. Just seems like it's an alternate universe. Maybe things are different here, but we're Borg right now. It just feels like there's an excellent tactical opportunity to learn as much as we can so that if we ever encounter Borg back in our universe, we can dust them. Is that cheating?
Only if one assumes that whatever the circumstances here are close enough to what pertains in our tactical reality that it would be useful rather than potentially catastrophically misleading.
You talk like a scientist.
Gosh. You take that back right now.
She sits up and says, I'm going to look at the tractor beam array on this thing.
I'm gonna see if there's anything in here that's maybe some useful deep learning subroutines that will help this.
Oh, goddess. She stops for a moment. Oh, I just looked at the I just looked at the tractor beam array. I literally just thought about it and I looked at it. I don't know if I like this.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I know that I don't.
I'm going to spend a point of threat.
Do it. Do it, I dare you.
Cadence, roll sensors science for me again, and if somebody could please also roll for the ship. You want 13 or lower?
Oh, that's cocked.
I'll roll for the ship.
All right.
Chat, what do we
Borg.
say with the ship? Is it roll sphere, roll duck?
Roll sphere, roll duck.
Help us out here.
Just roll because we're already in like a spherical object. Like roll.
It's true.
Roll,
And then,
roll.
like, roll.
Whereas the roll is assumed, and so it's just duck.
Duck. Yeah. Duck, duck, goose. Is it duck,
What?
duck, goose or duck, duck, gray duck? Chat, weigh in.
No, it's not grey
Grey
duck.
duck?
It's not grey duck.
Minnesota,
it's
baby.
Minnesota,
Let's go.
I gotta.
Anyway, I did actually somehow get one success. I'm not going to lie, it would have been incredibly funny if I hadn't.
I rolled a 1, so I crit for the ship, so it's 2 successes there.
There we go.
Okay. Your sensors detect a sensor shadow of a possible ship entering system.
Okay, well. Guess who's here? Captain?
This is Captain Jurin.
We have company in the system.
Borg.
Can't tell from underwater. But there was someone coming after us, and I don't think it was to bring us flowers.
The last thing we need is for the board to pop up on these people, and they just accepted us, but we need to confirm what that vessel is.
I'll see what I can do, sir.
I have no doubt. Let me know when you have more information for me.
Aye, sir. I'm gonna look through the duck inventory, see if there's anything that serves a similar function to a Starfleet probe. What if I just sent up a buoy is the basic idea here. Not the whole sphere, not poking my whole head, because then if someone sees it, then they absolutely 800 zillion% know we are here, we are Borg.
The Borg sphere itself does not appear to have any probes on board. The sphere itself seems like it looks like it is a Type 2 sphere, so it is a smaller version. And most likely the entirety ship, even though it is capable of hosting 11,000 Borg, it looks like the ship itself is the probe.
Okay. Then what I need to do is just cannibalize a sensor.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, what is a probe made of? Propulsion system, housing, power source, sensor. We have those. It's a small sphere. But we can get this. We can make that. Probes can be jury-rigged. So that's what I would like to do. I would like to jury-rig a probe gear optimized to the sensor frequencies that I would assume I want to look for.
Okay.
And using, if possible, a housing with a similar density to water, one for, the floaty float.
Do you basically want to manufacture a probe that you can shoot out of the water? Is that what you're trying to do?
Just
again,
send up a buoy.
You could absolutely do that. The Borg sphere, this sphere itself has over 11,000 nodes for crew members.
Exactly. We're rattling around like sardines in here.
So,
That's
meaning that
exciting.
the ship is large. You can see that also part of its arsenal, there are 2,000 gravimetric torpedoes on this ship. It's easy enough to take. Torpedoes are almost always the prime candidate to convert them into a probe because they have everything you need. It just needs to have the warhead removed and replaced with a sensor suite.
Perfect.
So that's a surgery, and you can do it.
All right.
The most,
Taeyeon, I'm going to go get elbows deep in the weapon system.
Oh, okay. Do you need help?
You know, you're probably going to know more about getting elbows deep in a weapon system than I am. I want to refashion one of these absolutely horrifying torpedoes. They should not have this kind of yield. Into a probe.
Zarya says, I can stay here and monitor what's going on and send you literally real-time updates with the speed of thought.
Please do comms me with communications if there's anything I need to know.
Okay. Copy that.
I'll just go.
You're the commander.
Let me know how way you feel most comfortable. Either works. Okay. Let's see what I can do.
All right, the two of you are going to go perform surgery on a gravimetric torpedo. Borg use gravimetric torpedoes, which are vicious weapons that cause gravimetric disturbances around the hull of a starship when it impacts. Essentially causes the entire starship to begin to move slower. It causes a massive disruption in the gravimetric forces surrounding ships that they use for their own propulsion. Basically, it would cause you to lose actions every round. It's a brutal thing to use. Think of it like crowd control. They slow you down, they tractor you, and then they start cutting you up. Borg torpedoes are pretty advanced. So good news, though, is you're not just Starfleet officers finding Borg torpedoes. You are Borg Starfleet officers who have that full blueprint already on hand. So it doesn't take any time at all to get down to the lower decks of the sphere and find one of the many casings of these gravimetric torpedoes. Removing them from the chambers and setting them down to begin to perform surgery on it is a minor task that only takes a few moments. Once you have it essentially laid out on the table, as it were, you guys open this thing up. And we will have you make a roll just to start things off. I'm going to set this as an extended task roll. But if you succeed at this check, you will have created a Borg probe that could conceivably not only pass as something that the Borg may not pay attention to, but you will have removed any sensor interference you have on the planet, giving you guys a periscope. Whereas the Borg can't see you.
That's even better term for it than buoy. Oh yeah, because of course probes can have such a small power source that at the surface the energy signature is going to be so much less than if we'd popped the sphere up there.
Also, it's worth noting too that Borg operate in a very standardized kind of way. They don't go after anything or attack anything unless it is a threat. If it appears as Borg, they won't interact with it unless they need to engage with it. If they saw a Borg probe flying through a solar system, they'd probably just ignore it because they would just assume that it was going along its way. If they needed to interact with it, it was because they were doing something with it. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get some rolls here. So who wants to take point on this and who wants to assist?
My control engineering's 12. Taeyeon, how are you doing?
Oh, engineering. It's not much better. Mine's a 13, so I'll take
but
it.
you know what not much better is? Better, that's right. There you go. But I've got you. And this makes sense, right? Actually, for you, is there an argument for rolling either of us, I guess, on security? And maybe I can assist off in engineering because we brought you here because you know torpedoes.
Yeah. Can I go that route?
The truth is there is indeed a case to be made for the fact that you are a security officer and you might be able to invoke that as a trait. You're not security officer. You are Zarya is technically the ship's security. You are the tactical officer, and this is kind of what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would happily invoke that as a trait. I'm guessing that just reduces the difficulty if we're doing with the way traits work.
It would reduce the difficulty, yes.
Okay.
3. Okay. So I've set this in motion. So you're going to need to make, and if you want to assist,
Yep.
what would you like to roll to assist?
I'm happy to roll on control engineering or presence command. They're the same number.
I would say control engineering is going to be the main role for the actual point. Whoever's taking point is going to be rolling control engineering, which means you'll have to roll something different than control engineering. So that sounds like presence command is the way to go.
Sounds good. In that case, does my leadership focus roll in?
If you can bake into the narrative how you're using a leadership ability to help with this torpedo surgery.
Developed the plan and articulated the plan, working alongside town to implement the plan.
It got vague as you continued going. You came up with the plan, but now you're implementing the plan. Are you basically walking? Are you just like giving him encouragement and such as he's operating?
It's one of those where if you have everything, like the vision of what everything you're going to do in your head, you still have to communicate that effectively to the person who has subject matter expertise, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, they were
when I
like,
say
they
this-
Sure.
Please.
Yeah. However you want.
they said tactical. Come with me. We're doing this. I'm your superior officer. Like I'm the superior
Oh
officer.
yeah.
putting on a
I
plan.
just. But the thing is all you have to do is just paint a picture to me as to what Cadence is doing as the surgery is taking place, and you can once you detail that, that's pretty much how you would use it. So if you're saying you're using this as just to kind of continue to go over a plan or offer words of encouragement or anything, that totally works. You can use that as your baseline.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I'm I guess backseating poor Taeon.
all
Is
right.
what this is.
So then the difficulty, I mean, it's literally like holding the lights kind of thing as Taeon's digging in. But go ahead and make the first roll for me just to see where this goes. It's control engineering for you to Aeon. The difficulty is 3.
Okay.
And the resistance is 2.
That doesn't apply on Borg vessels.
Oh, okay.
Because resistance is
And the trait, the security or the tactical trait, where does that come
That
in?
lowered the difficulty down to 3.
It did load it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How come resistance doesn't apply?
The joke. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, somebody explain it to me. I'm
joke?
not getting it. It went over my head.
Because resistance is futile. Yeah. It almost flew past me too, but I've gotten so good at identifying when Sam's gone into joke mode because they're so good at delivering dry that when they go that dry, I'm like, there was a joke there. There it is. Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll have to point out to me at some point when I'm telling such jokes.
I will.
Okay.
I doubt any of these will apply, but would the focus of either shipboard tactical systems apply here? Or cybernetics?
Shipboard tactical systems wouldn't apply. This is literally ordnance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you were dealing with a system that fired this, then yes. But you're literally popping open a torpedo, so this is different. And cybernetics, no. This was a biological crossed over device of some kind, definitely, but no, it's just a torpedo.
Okay.
A big dangerous torpedo.
We have two momentum right now, right?
Yeah.
One
momentum.
because I took one on the roll that I failed so catastrophically, and then
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll spend 1 to add another die.
Quick question before you make this roll: who has Prism?
Oh,
I just want to check in. Who has Prism?
Prism's on the ship, I think. Still.
Yeah, I think you left Prism on the ship. Does anybody have Prism, or is Prism just here in the control center of the ship?
I never narrated bringing Prism along, so I couldn't, in good conscience,
And I'm gonna say Prism is currently being held by Avrali. And Avrali is probably asking also.
Zarya.
I'm sorry, Zarya. And Zarya.
No, thank you. Now it's not just me.
Now it's me too, thanks to you. I've been assimilated.
It's my fault.
Zarya is basically asking Prism all sorts of questions about: is it against temporal decree or whatever prime directive if I start asking a bunch of questions and learning as much as I can about the Borg to take back to my timeline and kill Borg? Yes. I'm just checking. I thought it's worth asking. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and make your roll then. Control engineering, and then Sam, make that presence command check if you haven't made it yet.
I already have, and 1 success.
1 success. All right, what'd you get?
4 successes.
Okay, so 4 successes. 4, so 5 total.
Indeed.
All right, with the resistance of
Difficulty was
3.
3.
Yes. No, the difficulty was 2. So you're going to mark down your. So you safely remove. That's immediately going to put you past the 50% mark. So you safely remove the warhead from the torpedo, detaching it, setting it aside, and it's not armed. You set it aside and immediately begin to put the sensor casing inside the housing. Fits perfectly. No surprise. If there's nothing to be said about Borg technology, its adaptability unto its own is pretty extraordinary. You can make some. It's basically having a constant 3D printer around you at all times. You pretty much kind of put anything where you need it to go. So as y'all are doing this, we are going to take a quick 10-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to pick this up down planet side, and y'all are going to find out exactly what you're up against with whatever their power issue is and what you're going to have to do to fix it 16 miles below the surface of this acid ocean. We'll see you all in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to Under the Sea. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. All right. Anyway, let's jump back into where we were last leaving off, which is you guys inside this facility, submerged with this new species. You are being taken to where this engineering kerfuffle has taken place. You all know that the facility itself is undergone an immense amount of stress. You're about to get a snapshot of exactly what it is that they're up against. You were led into a couple of corridors that open up into a greater space that looks like a large communal area. But as you enter the communal area, it paints a bleak picture of the situation for the people in question. You see, they are all gathered about in what would best be described as little encampments in this large community area, having reached far-reached capacity where laboratories and such have all been filled up. Every room in this facility is being used. They are beyond maximum capacity. And you can see that they have kind of housed themselves in these small encampments that are around one another. The community helping each other out. You can see people staring, many of them in terror as you were all being led through here. However, no one has an immediate reaction because they notice that Lazui is speaking to all of you as he leads you through the room. But there are some sounds that emit from a few of the people as you make through here. They are quickly calmed down, but for the most part, pretty stable in that no one riots the moment you all walk through this common area. You are led into what looks like a generator room where you can see large power plant and looks like batteries being housed inside these large wall units along both left and right side. It almost looks like a cathedral of technology as you walk in. The ceiling's quite high, towers up about 80 feet, where it reaches a peak of where you can see above all these different coils and power cables that are like running out throughout the entire system. It's definitely, again, got the markers of a technology that's not quite as advanced as where the Federation is currently. But when you're led to what looks like a control room, you notice that there are multiple flashing lights that indicate door seals are in place. And you can see that this large archway has what looks like a blast door that's been dropped in front of it. And as Lazui moves over to one of the consoles, you see a few of his appendages reach out and begin to interact with this console. And a image begins to pop up in front of you, a 3D projected, like small holographic image. And as it comes up, you see the problem is it looks like the hydrothermal electric plant that is built over a vent about 600 yards from where you were all standing. The walkway that attaches these two places, it looks like it's been breached and flooded. You can see the interior of this large walkway, which is probably about 20 yards wide and has its own facilities and rooms on the inside. You can see that it stretches across this cliffside that this facility is built on. It occurs to you at that moment that you're not at the bottom. You're on a cliffside over an abyss. This would not technically, this would technically be the abyssal plane, but this is not the bottom, apparently. The hydrothermal vent is currently reading, its sensors are all working just fine. It just looks like there's been a collapse in the interior. You're reading a couple of statistics on the outside. Judging from the fact that you guys are so close to the hydrothermal vent, to no surprise, the outside temperatures right now are reading out to about 536 degrees Celsius in the water column, or roughly 990 degrees Fahrenheit. So the plant itself seems to be functioning. It's getting to it, needing to repair it. That's the issue.
What are our Borg? What are we capable of as far as like underwater?
Can you survive in the vacuum of space? Yes, you can. Can you survive at 18 tons per square inch? No, you cannot. You would be crushed like a tin can, instantaneously killed. In fact, the Borg sphere would be seriously stressed if it was to come down this deep into the ocean. It would be dangerous to take a ship down here. Facilities being powered by very specialized shield generators it's different. There's enough structural integrity here and enough power that's coursing through the place to keep it intact. But the Borg sphere would be taxed. Wouldn't be instantly crushed, but it would be taxed.
Well, seems that we've got our hands full. Any ideas?
Lizui, what have you tried? What has been done already?
Zui turns to you and says, unfortunately, we don't have enough power to power our environmental suits. We use battery charging to create minute force fields to increase the structural integrity of our own environmental suits to repair outside. With the pressure and the temperature being what it is, we can't spare the energy needed. If we do, we enter the dark calculus.
And how do you charge your batteries? Where is your power source?
That, and points at the hydrothermal plant. Its power is used to power everything aboard the station. We have backup batteries that we are using right now. If we were to take any one of them off of line, we would be sacrificing a portion of the station, which would mean the dark calculus again. Your translator, dark calculus, is sort of a poetic way of saying, in their species, that's a poetic way of saying it becomes about numbers, basically, at that point. Who do you kill?
I would like to go through the schematics of our sphere,
Okay.
to see if there is a way to give them a charge, like kind of jump their systems, or if they have expended batteries, if there's a way to use our sphere to refill their batteries.
Okay. I would say make me, this is probably a difficulty one, but I'd say make me a control and make me a reason engineering check.
Gotcha. You know, back in the day, I was a little bit of an engineer myself. Okay. Let's see. Control. Okay, that's not great. Engineering. That's better. Ooh, that is going to be one success.
Okay.
I
You
rolled a
hit the
7 and a
baseline
17.
difficulty. Okay, at one success, what you get is the Borg technology. You could actually remotely channel a beam of energy to power some computer system. Unfortunately, theirs is so outdated compared to Borg tech. It's not compatible.
Are any of these suits, their exosuits, near us here?
Yes, there's two in an alcove nearby.
Lizui, do you mind if I take a look?
Of course.
Are they compatible with us? Could we charge our own suit if we put one on?
It's possible that you could modify one of these.
Yeah.
It would take some time, but you could modify one of these exosuits to go out. If you did, it is conceivable that you could actually charge these suits yourselves and make a suit that was capable of sustaining you all.
I kind of want to pitch doing some a little wild. Their technology is old and outdated. I would like to assimilate it, please.
Assimilating their tech.
Mm-hmm.
Absorbing their technology. That would be to give you an idea of what that would essentially do. Is it would be like that'd be understanding their tech isn't the problem. What you need to do is upgrade their tech somehow. You're not the issue. If you assimilated their tech into your technology, that would be attaching a Model T engine to your F-18 Hornet engine.
Can
So
the nanites do anything to technology, or do they only adapt to
that's what I was
biology?
thinking.
Yeah.
Nanites
yeah.
primarily assimilate biological technologies. And through the assimilation of biological technologies, that's when the Borg can continuously adapt and through engineering. Nanites can affect tech, but it's not the same as assimilating as biology. They assimilate technology by literally assimilating the races that created the technology, and then using that basically start absorbing the tech and the specs into their own. So it would be more of like you need to upgrade what they've got as opposed to attaching an outdated tech to what you've got.
And our nanites are capable of doing that.
It looks like the reason why the Borg specifically just slated them to be just destroyed was to take what little technology that they could use, and then everything else was useless.
Got it.
Captain, we are currently flying a vessel with many unused alcoves. Perhaps we modify a handful of these suits and bring them an alcove that could charge the modified suit.
I think it, and I want to see if the process begins on the sphere. Like, essentially, because our stuff is highly adaptable. Like, if I think, okay, I want an alcove to adapt to be useful in this situation, would that work?
Could you install a Borg alcove down here? Yes, you could install Borg technology. You can put it anywhere. You could install anything you guys have on Borg that ship, and that would essentially be assimilating their technology. It would be basically turning this place into a Borg, which you are designed to do by default. That would be what assimilating their tech would be. So again, it's kind of what you were suggesting, Noir. It's just kind of the flip. It's where you basically turn this into a Borg space that can regenerate all this stuff. Yeah.
This would be too don't worry about it science, but what do we regenerate with? Like, is that the ship's power systems? Is there like different energy that we're charged with? Like, how do
the ship power systems? So this is where it gets wacky. The ship power systems do regenerate you guys through the Borg alcoves. However, Borg technology allows you to create those wherever you need to. If you can find a steady power source, and if you can't, you can simply build one yourselves and bring it with you. Borg, as long as there's technology and a way to plug into it, the Borg can adapt it to what they need.
Okay, so that still involves needing the power source, and we're still struggling with power source. So maybe that's a thing we come back to.
You could totally bring a power source down here from the Borg sphere easily. That's easy enough to do. The only limitation you're working with is whatever you bring, you guys are going to be able to use it. They will not.
Yeah,
that's not really the issue, but just to give you an idea of the limitation.
So I think so. Noir, here's my pitch: is that we modify 2 suits for now, that the 2 of us could charge them off of our own systems. We bring down a power supply just in case, but just so that the 2 of us can go out and fix this breach, and then they'll be able to power their own suits after that if we can fix this breach, even if it's temporary. And then we can figure out if they need more. Does that feel?
Yeah. My main thing is I wanted to provide them a means to to also empower themselves. Like so, like.
Well, I just mean like for now. Like it seems like.
Oh no, but I'm all the way with you.
Yeah, we're giving them their power supply back, but we should. I think actually, I do like the idea of sending down a couple of things that they can start charging important shit with while we do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like they're talking about dark calculus, I want that phrase explains from their vocabulary. Like
you start working. You want to start working on power supply stuff. I'll start working on modifying a pair of suits for us.
I think about having the technology transported over. Just like he's also testing the limits of like this control. Jared is enjoying this almost a little too much. He's just like, okay, like transport here just to see if it works.
I mean, not only that, but just Jaren, and this is not giving you, you would have this knowledge too, but like what you were suggesting to do, as I stated before, the problem is that so much of this technology is so outdated that it's difficult to interface with. Once you guys start building in here, the nanites will do anything you need them to do to adapt to the technology.
Build some little adapt dongles. We're gonna build
essentially,
some
yeah, basically, like if you're trying
Apple Borgs,
if
So apples.
so basically, I guess what the difference is instead of trying to install Borg tech onto a Model T engine, you're removing the Model T engine and installing a Borg engine inside of a Model T. It's kind of like what y'all are
Yep.
just doing. So,
Let's flip it and reverse it. I'm down.
okay. So, it's going to be
Also,
incredibly
we
easy.
tell Lizui first before we start doing this.
Yeah.
You tell what's going on?
We tell Lizui what's going on
Oh,
so that we
okay.
don't freak anybody
Zooey
out.
listens carefully. There's a little bit of anxiety as you were all talking about essentially installing Borg technology on here so that they can use it. But there's also this curiosity that pops up as you see Zooey say, if this happens, will the Borg be able to use this technology against us?
Checking my
Borg can
brain. Is that possible?
Yes, it is possible. The same way if the Borg ever got their hands on you, they could use you against them. The collective is vicious that way. But it could also technically empower them to resist the Borg. Like, it kind of goes both ways.
I think Jaren's going to just let them know the Borg could use your current technology against you. It's just that they would find it primitive.
Should you so choose, we could remove any technology we bring down here to help reset you back with us and leave none behind. It's your choice.
I think we are at such a state that we have nothing to lose by saying yes. It's this or we risk extinction. And if you are willing to help, then I would say yes. If nothing else, we can learn a little bit more about the beings that did this to you and to us.
The other thing I'm gonna break down is just a lot of storage. Like that's a no pet peeve. Like, dog, you gotta have at least 5 terabytes. What's going on?
What am I gonna do with 5 terabytes? That's for a whole separate storage. What are you doing? What do you think? I'm made of money? Made of terabytes? I can just take a bite out of it like crime?
I would like to modify a suit to plug into me.
Okay, so you all, so both above and below, y'all are taking your engineering skills to you're putting them to the test. As you're all basically modifying old technologies and new technologies to get what you need out of them. Essentially, putting that Federation ingenuity into work here to assimilate Borg technology to do what you want it to do.
We're the Borg Geek Squad.
Yeah, basically.
Damn it.
Okay, while this is happening, also, it's not terabytes, it's actually teraquads, by the way, of data that you can actually use, which is something like a quadrillion bytes.
Oh
1 teraquad
God,
is like a quadrillion byte. So like you can literally you can give them enough information that they can learn. You could put the entire galaxy's worth of data on their servers if you wanted to.
Oh my God, the Geek Collective, Geek Filter, you are disgusting.
I approve.
All right. Skybound, up in the air. Or I should say up on the water column. On the ship, let me go ahead and get another roll from our folks that are chopping away at this extended task. This is going to be another control plus engineering check.
I have a question.
Yeah, ask away.
Is this a new scene?
For you, see, if I was writing the script, yes, it is a new scene. You're doing the same task, but it is a new scene.
We saw, okay, because I think we had 0 momentum, so up to 2 again because of.
I think we actually had. I think we actually had 3 because you rolled 5 on a 2 success.
Oh yeah,
so we did just lose a momentum down to 2.
Down to 2.
Either way,
okay, never mind. Either way, we're at 2.
Yeah.
I will be spending a momentum to get another die.
Okay.
And I will roll.
Roll away and then roll that assist.
Okay. Rolled 3 successes.
Nice. Okay. How'd the assist go?
We actually make these. Look,
Chat,
I'm
you
as surprised
still
as
haven't told us
anyone.
What the hell's going on
Success.
over there? All right, so that's 4 successes total.
Yes.
Down 2. Okay, you guys actually hit the second breakthrough marker. You managed to
boy.
install successfully the sensor suite in there and begin to plug the system gets installed quite effortlessly. And it doesn't take any requirements to upgrade or change the propulsion housing. So I'm actually, as part of your next breakthrough, I'm going to lower the difficulty down to 2. All right. That's happening. Let's see. Down below, I'm going to say back and forth, you guys have been beaming technology from the Borg sphere down into the station. And you guys are currently busy at work fabricating and building out alcoves here inside the station while your host watches in rapt, rather mildly horrified fascination. As the scientists can't take their eyes off of this and is watching this technology that is well beyond their current technology level. Truth of the matter is that there is something to be said about advancing a species technology as rapidly as you are all about to do. However, the Prime Directive does not apply because they are in fact warp capable. So you are empowering them to resist the Borg as far as you're concerned. Let me have one of you, and you can choose who it's going to be, is going to need to make a control engineering check, but the difficulty of this is going to be 1.
Oh, I can take that.
Okay, if you want to take it,
Yeah.
you are automatically going to get this. You are automatically going to gain, if you succeed at this roll, you gain a bonus momentum because nanites are currently, quote unquote, assisting you as you install these into their tech. So go ahead and make that check.
No focuses that will apply here.
Cadence is clearly a very big fan of that. I think Cadence loves that fact.
That is 2 successes.
2 successes, so you'll gain 1 momentum then. Or I'm sorry, 2 momentum. So that's going to, okay, so you start successfully installing all of these alcoves. The hostile one, by the way, as y'all are making the installation, Lazui starts to make a little bit of conversation as you're literally mounting some of these alcoves up onto the wall. You and Jaren just... It's also worth noting that both of you are noticing that you have, since not everybody scanned what traits that they have and implants that they have, go ahead and add this trait to your character sheet because you are discovering this now as you are installing this thing. Both of you have enhanced strength. You are noticing that you are able to, it's not, I would say it's enhanced the way, Jaren is getting an idea of how strong a Vulcan can be right now. And Tavine is getting an idea of how strong a cybernetic Vulcan can be. So the two of you are easily lifting these large pieces of tech and mounting them up onto the walls and fusing them and starting to put them together as this is taking place. As this is happening, you hear Lazui mention to all of you the angry one. His name is Navutus. He's what you would expect of a warrior who has lost many battles against a foe that was beyond any of our capacity.
We do not fault him for his attitude.
We
We appreciate the commitment to your safety.
He's quite committed, but I think he can be dangerous. It's one of the things I wanted to speak to you about now that we have a moment. I have decided to trust you both, so I should tell you that Navutus, I think, is looking for a reason to die. Specifically, looking for a reason to die fighting the thing that harmed us. I think he needs hope. I think he's going to have trouble reconciling that you are going to be bringing us hope. But I think you bringing us hope is going to be the best chance he has at healing and seeing past this. Ours is
not harm him.
I believe you.
even if that's what he wants.
I believe you. I tell you all this because I worry he will try to give you reason to harm him. He will try to provoke. He has tested the boundaries more in just the past 2 hours than he has since this endeavor began.
I've been told I'm quite level-headed. And I do have expertise in ending fights quietly, with no harm done. He is safe with me.
That is very kind. That is an innate part of our own warrior culture is mercy. We usually refer to our weapons as life-giving because sparing the life of an opponent is giving them their life back to them. When we encountered the Borg, though, this was not so.
The Borg are something else.
I am now going to spend 2 threat.
That's 3 threat total, just for Noir to know.
Noir, you're listening to this conversation as you're helping mount this piece of tech up onto the wall. And all of the sudden, you feel your body stiffen for a second. The world begins to spin for a moment. And you open your eyes to something completely different to where you just were. It's for a moment, it feels like your world kind of spins out for a second before you realize you're not standing in the same space you just were moments ago. You're standing instantly recognizing Unimatrix 0. And pacing in front of you is a woman. She side glances as she walks around you like she's taking measure. She says nothing to you, but you feel this thread like it's wrapped around you suddenly, like you've been seen. Like if the Eye of Sauron were suddenly just to suddenly spot you and Sam as you were traveling across the plains. That's how it feels as you see her just pace. Her presence, her power, her ancient technologies and wisdom and knowledge and horror, all of it just manifesting in this one woman who gives this coy, casual smile as she paces around in front of you for a moment, then stops. And she says, "So much anger. You are so easy to find." She puts her fingertips against the side of your face, Sharon, when she says, "You are not from here. This is not your universe. And you carry something, don't you, Captain? Something in your earring."
I take a quick glance at my hands. What do they look? Do they look like Borg hands, or are these mine?
They don't. You are in full Starfleet uniform right now. As you glance down, it occurs to you in this moment, this isn't real. You're not actually here. She's made some kind of connection, like she has logged in. Somehow she spotted you, and you, as you glance down at your hands, you're in your captain's uniform.
Well, you seem to know quite a bit about me. Perhaps an introduction is in order. I'm Captain Jaren.
Captain Jaren Idril of the USS Pride, a ship that has been decommissioned, but not from where you're from, is it? How did you get here, Captain Jaren?
I am where the prophets see best fit to place me.
She grins and it begins to pace around you again. And she says, "You carry something. Something from the future."
You'll have to be a bit more specific. I carry quite a bit.
She nods and says, "Perhaps we both can get some clarification." Behind her, you see a human step forward, completely assimilated. But as he comes to a stop, you recognize from the personnel file the temporal agent that Prism belonged to. You see he is completely covered in Borg technology and has been assimilated. She says, "Every now and then, one of these temporal invaders finds their way to me. The collective reaches out across time, across space. I can see things, cross realities. And I know when someone is not playing by the rules."
Rules. I didn't think that that would be a concept that would matter to the Borg.
She smiles and says, "The collective is all about rules. Order to chaos."
I've always, blessed be the prophets, I've always wanted to ask, to what end?
To what end?
The assimilation, the consistent need to consume, and why?
An understandable, if somewhat base curiosity. It would be impossible for a life form so utterly devoid of being able to see across the expanse of time to understand the answer to that question. But there is a solution. If you would join us, I can show you why.
Maybe a day or two ago, if you made me that offer, I would have rejected it quite ferociously, but I appreciate the offer, seeing what it is to be amongst your number. It is efficient, but I must say no. I understand the order. Oh, please.
You care for these creatures you are helping right now. You and your Vulcan officer.
Yes.
They cannot hide from us. We choose to let them go because it did not serve the purpose to eradicate them. We took what we needed and we moved on. Now you have something that I want. The datapad known as Prism. If you give it to me, I will allow them to live.
You have to understand that that cannot happen. And I cannot allow them to die either. What? Why do you want Prism?
We assimilate technologies. It would be
So it's
incredibly useful to get our hands on something like this, don't you think?
Sounds like an addiction.
An addiction is a term that a biological life form such as yourself experiences.
You see something you want and your impulse is to take it, and you don't even know why.
It's not impulse, it's calculated. And I know precisely why. It's a fair offer. You don't even belong to this universe, Captain.
You're
These
right.
people do not live in your universe.
You are right. They've lost a great many of their own too, and the outside force that did not see the worth of them. And so in that spilled blood, in that shared trauma, we are kin. They are me. I am them. I have no choice but to stand in your way. And I don't want to.
You don't have to.
Neither of us have to do what we are inevitably going to do. The only difference is the end results for you are completely in your hands. And for me, it's in the hands of the prophet. And they don't need Prism to live non-linearly.
Predictable, if not unfortunate, response.
The pawn does not question the hand that moves it.
As a drone, you are about to learn once again how true that is.
Then may the prophets bless our ways. Good luck.
She glances at the hand, and she looks into your eyes. And you find yourself back where you were literally milliseconds after you had this moment with the queen. But every one of you, for the 12 milliseconds of time that took for Jaren, each and every one of you felt her presence suddenly. She was here for a moment among one of you. Collectively, everyone feels the Borg Queen's presence, like she was in the room for a moment. And it causes a communication chirp on the intercom system that has been commandeered for internal comms. You hear immediately is Zarya going, I don't know what I'm reporting.
I felt it too.
Hate that.
This is Captain Jaren. I just made contact with the Borg Queen. We will be under fire shortly. Get into positions. We have to make sure that we protect
Real quick,
our new friends.
Make that roll for me real quick. The last roll for the torpedo, the probe.
Yep. Oh boy.
So go ahead and make that check for me, if you would, please.
I will spend another momentum.
Okay.
If everyone's cool with it for a die again.
We are almost full right now because it was such
This
a good roll. So please do.
succeeds.
Oh, perfect.
If this succeeds, y'all are going to essentially have the drop on them.
There's two successes there
2 successes?
from me, yeah.
How'd you do, Cadence?
I would love to say I was successful.
2 successes is going to get... Let's see. 2 successes is going to get eaten by the resistance. So there's no progress on the probe. Doesn't mean it's failed, though. It just means that it's taking a little bit longer. However, right now, ship sensors are not detecting anything in orbit or in the immediate vicinity. Last time you checked, it was about 45 minutes ago, where you detected that a ship had entered system. So where it could be along, keeping in mind that you guys are well hidden, who knows? Okay, so
One more time.
work is going to continue. I'm going to have you guys. I'm going to say time is going to pass. So why don't both teams give me their roles one more time? And I'm going to see where this is going to put us on the timeline real quick. So why don't we start with Noah and Caitlin? What's up?
Would there be enough time for Jaren to warn the Raja and to get them in the safest place possible for the oncoming fight?
Yes. You when you say that essentially the leader the Borg have found you all, or that they might be here soon, Lazui is stiffening at that and says, unfortunately, there's 700 of us in a facility that is only meant to house 300 people, 300 of my people. We are beyond capacity. There is simply nowhere for everyone to hide. The best I can do is try to form barricades and blockades to help protect us. I should start organizing this right away.
I know that the central room that we're in had blast doors. How many people would be able to fit in there?
Perhaps 60 or so.
Take your most vulnerable, put them there. I'm gonna look for the big fella that's been mean mugging me all day. You want to kill some Borg?
He's just outside the door. You just look at him and say, "Want to kill some Borg?" There's this moment where he doesn't know how to receive this, and you see the body posture shift a little bit, and it seems like it takes him a moment to understand what you're implying. But he says, "Honor demands I warn you that you might be among the ones I kill."
Save me for last, and we'll call it even.
Make me an insight command check with a difficulty of 1.
Gotcha.
With a difficulty of 1.
Eastside, come on, Jerry. Oh, I'm actually pretty good at that in command. I'm not so bad at command. Here we go. Yeet. Oh, I'm glad that it's difficulty 1, because that's a 12 and a 20.
Okay, so you are going to succeed. But I am going to change some of the calculus here. Because I'm going to award you a trait for the role play. You're going to gain the trait Warrior Bond 1. Because when you say that to him, you see the body posture shift so much that you can. There is an immense amount of respect you get from him when you say, "Save me for last, and we'll call it even." There's just this immediate. It would be the equivalent if a Klingon just gave you a nod with a smile.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Oh God. Oh jeez.
However, I am going to activate that complication.
Yep.
And that complication is going to be another seismic event. As soon as he says that, all of you begin to feel the sudden rupture, the shake. Just you hear it first. The entire facility begins to shake a little bit. You guys can hear clicking and whistling sounds, which your database, everything you know about the Rugen, is essentially the Rugen equivalent of screaming in panic. These melodic whistling sounds are the air passing between some of the incisors of these crab-like creatures as they all begin to gather and huddle close. The event causes the entire facility to shift and shake. Up on the ship, you guys all hear Zarya say, "I'm detecting a seismic event near the hydrothermal plant where they're located right now. Our away team is getting shaken up really good at the moment. It looks like it might be tipping towards a 6.0 on the scale."
Did you familiarize yourself with the tractor beams? Can we use that to try to stabilize the site?
I think I could try. Commander, there is a small chance the Borg might detect me activating the tractor beam. If they're looking for us.
Well, then they have to, 1, be looking for us, 2, be capable of seeing us, and 3, that risk has to be more clear, present, and reasonable than the risk of what's happening to those folks down there. I would say tractor beam well outweighs it. Stabilize if you can.
Diverting power, activating tractor beam. Stand by.
Can we spend an ox point to activate? Sorry.
I would love that, yes.
If you would like. Okay, so I would say this is an excellent opportunity to counter my complication by establishing a trait.
Point number 5.
Okay.
Okay, your ox. What was it? A 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bibliotech. Thank you so much for that ox point and for helping the commander save the station. And An excellent suggestion. Zarya immediately activates a Borg tractor beam. It plunges down 16 miles into the depths and and it just on the very fringe of the range that this tractor beam can extend. You basically, because tractor beams, I think the longest I've seen a tractor beam actually extend outwards is from orbit to planet surface. So this would be about the equivalent. You guys can easily just envelop this station. Everyone that's currently in the space right now sees this green glow suddenly envelop the outside, and the station grows still. But you can hear the struts and the foundation straining under the fact that the station is remaining still, but the ground is not. However, as the seismic event passes, no structural damage is doled out to the station after the quick thinking of your commander activating a tractor beam and stabilizing the place. Remember, y'all were on the side of a cliff near an abyss, and so there's not going to be any structural damage that's going to affect the scene. However, I am going to rule that because the foundations of this place have moved, it becomes very clear to the two of you who are down here in the station currently working on this engineering feat that this place is definitely not going to be sustainable. They're going to have to move everybody up to the sphere and get them out of here. This place has probably got maybe 24 hours before it begins to plunge into the dark and crush. So, however, you still need to get power to the station so that this doesn't happen sooner. So your task is still in front of you. However, the worst of it has been stayed off, thankfully.
Let me at it. I'm
Okay.
immediately back up, ready, trying to finish what I was up to.
Well, because of the quick actions of Commander Cadence, you are not going to be penalized for making this next roll. So go ahead and roll your engineering feat again as you are installing this tech.
I'd like to spend to buy a die, folks.
You're gonna do what?
Yep.
I'm gonna buy a die.
You're gonna
Spend a momentum.
Spend a momentum.
Purchase a
Okay,
die.
cool. All right.
And I have nothing here. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's good. Okay.
Make that roll. The difficulty is going to be 2 on this because you have the nanites working with you. Your little helpers.
Wait, so what?
Let's
What
not
is
get euphemistic with the nanites.
Don't make them adorable, damn it!
No,
They literally almost killed my
Oh,
first
my lord.
SDA character.
That's a 1 and a 10, and then the other one that's just too high. So I have 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, so that's going to bank you a momentum. All right, so you're going to finish the charging station here in just mere minutes. Despite the distractions, the interference of the queen, and the earthquake.
Locked in.
Okay, let me get one more roll from our engineering team topside. Now, at this rate, I'm going to go ahead and state that whatever you roll, you're going to finish this probe. This roll is pretty much determining whether or not you finish in time to make it useful at this point because of how the pressure has been cranked up. So go ahead and give me another roll, and the difficulty is going to be 2.
Okay.
Momentum. We have
How
some-
many? Yeah, how much momentum do we have?
We have 4.
You have 4.
Okay. Are you calling me using 3 momentum to
Yeah,
get 2
buy up.
die?
Do it.
Yep. Do it, please.
Okay. Oh, let's go. Okay. That is 6 successes.
Okay.
Whoa!
Oh, that should be enough.
What was
Yeah.
the difficulty?
Don't make me like you, Drax. God.
Okay. If you want to spend any of that for immediate momentum spins, let me know. Otherwise, you guys finish it very quickly.
What was the difficulty was 2. What was it?
The difficulty of that was 2.
2. Okay, so we
So
got
you
4
have
in there.
4 banked
Okay.
bonus momentum.
Okay, so we have 4 bank.
Yeah.
5.
We want to
5.
throw a trait on this
Yes.
puppy.
Yes, please.
Yeah. What trait are you
Yes.
thinking?
Probably something to do with rapid report or some other capability so that it gets us advantage on sensors checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's
like
a
rapid
sensor
report.
probe, so it's got to be good at censoring. Not like
Yeah.
that though. The other way. Don't be homophonic.
Beep.
I don't for rapid report.
Would we also want to consider making a trait for expedited evacuation?
The
Can we do
separate
that from a
trait?
probe roll?
You could do
Yeah.
it from a probe roll, but you could establish that trait with because you've got enough bonus momentum that when the scene switches back down to you guys down below, you could create that trait. Yes, because again, Captain, you as somebody who has the captain role, you could absolutely burn a trait to create that and coordinate
Yeah.
an evacuation.
Yeah. Make sure we get these people the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the perk of being in the Borg sphere at the very least is that you guys have plenty of room to beam all these people up. It's just going to be a lot of time consumption of getting it done, buying that time. So, okay. So you're creating the trait. What trait am I adding to the scene?
Rapid
One
report,
is
was that what it was?
rapid
Yeah.
report for the probe. Yeah.
Okay, so basically y'all are going to get the drop on it. All right. In which case, I'm going to say, if you like, you can fire this probe off now and send it out into the upper atmosphere.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Traits.
Okay. Yeah, things ready.
All right. Commence Operation Little Duck.
So, this is little. Okay.
Duckling. There it
Duckling.
is. Yeah. Look, wow, you want any evidence I haven't slept up? My God.
Yeah,
Just an FYI, a Borg sphere can hold 130,000 drones.
It depends on what.
Okay, but how many ducklings?
Not a type. It depends on which type of Borg sphere it is, because there are two types. The Queen had her own Borg sphere, which I believe is a Type 1 Borg sphere, and those are huge. Those are the size of a Sovereign class starship, or larger. And then the type y'all are in are more Scout class vessels, and they can't hold that many, unfortunately.
I don't know.
We're more of a tennis ball than a basketball.
Are you just quoting somebody?
That was Vance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, generally speaking, there's two types of Borg spheres. It also just depends on like which source you're looking at, because there's video game source, there's the alpha, there's the beta. So anyway,
there's enough room in a Borg sphere for it to be narrative.
There's enough room for the 700 plus colonists that you guys have to deal with. Yeah. So that being said, from the surface of this deadly ocean, on the outside, if you were to see this, the great storm that's raging topside, the surface of the water suddenly explodes as a converted gravimetric torpedo erupts from the surface and launches straight towards the sky. This bright greenish torpedo just vanishes into the clouds until it begins to slow. You see, tracking it enters the stratosphere and then finally breaks atmo until you see that it's entered just outside the planet's orbit and begins to immediately feed back sensor information directly to the sphere. It's pretty clear, crystal clear, in fact, as you're getting sensor pings. And there it is. There is indeed a Borg Scout class ship that is in system right now. It is conducting what it looks like a scan of each individual planet, moving from one planet to the next, like they're sweeping through here. Which is relevant because it does reveal an interesting piece of information.
They don't see us.
They're scoping around. Queen was trying to sound more confident and was not being honest with Captain Jaren. So they are just going from world to world, scanning the moons. You've got a little bit of time.
All right, then we need to yoink the probe back, because if they can't see us, how would they know which planet to look? Could it possibly be the one with the probe?
The probe. Yeah.
Could we send the probe to like another planetoid in the system?
To a place they already scanned.
Yeah.
Like, based on the vector that we see, like, they're moving from one place to another place kind of thing. If we send it to where they just went, maybe they might think they didn't look hard enough. Or otherwise someplace where... Oh, we have the sensor probe. All right. Here's what's up. Which planet... Because we can get the sensor reads of the planets now.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it could plausibly hide a sphere. Like, here's an ocean. It could plausibly hide a sphere. Maybe one of these other planets isn't like rocky and atmosphereless, but it's like very gaseous, and they could be like, well, maybe they're hiding in the gas cloud kind of thing. So based on what we can see from the sensors, choose another planet to send the probe to.
Tell you what, we could just tie this back into a previous success and say that to Aeon, there is that class in planet on the edge of the system that you scanned earlier that was a Venus type planet that had a thick gaseous atmosphere.
Incredible idea, Commander. I think I know exactly the planet we can send this to.
It's all coming together.
Okay,
Excellent work.
so this is going to be an opposed check to see if the Borg fall for it and go sniffing around where the sensor is going. So make a case for what traits you want to roll, because I'm going to treat this like the sensor probe itself is going to be sort of like the craft to assist. So I'm going to give it a sensor score. Sensor science, I'm going to just set it as a base, and I'll give it, because it's a probe, so I'm going to just give it a flat 10. So 10 or lower. And whoever wants to roll, who is sending this probe remotely to a location to sort of distract them from where you all are.
This counts as small craft?
It is. I mean,
Yeah, I think it technically would, because it's like piloting a drone, essentially.
Yeah.
But I doubt any of the traits would come into play here, because you're doing a remote pilot.
Yeah.
But that's one option, yes. That's one way you might be able to use it.
What would we be rolling for this again?
I'm letting you make a case for what you think what would you use to, and how narratively would to Aeon be able to use their skills to get the attention and fool the Borg.
I think the only thing I can think of is my trait as a tactical officer of knowing how to use distractions and like this to give us time.
No, I also might use the suggestion that you are technically Borg.
I was about, yes.
Oh.
that was-
Yeah.
First the
That's a
punchline,
trait you
now
all
the-
have. Yeah. So Sam,
that's
I was
true.
about to say, wait a minute.
To use both? The fact
Don't
that
we
I'm
know how
Borg
this
and
system
tactical?
works? You wouldn't be able to use both. You just kind of have to pick one and lean into that one.
Okay. Yeah, we go with the Borg, the idea that I unfortunately, or fortunately in this case, I suppose, know how Borg
Yeah.
work and think. And use that as a trait.
Okay.
But beyond that, I don't know. I think other than that, I just need to spend a bunch of momentum.
We have 3 right now, and then if you have any determinations, I mean, this is mission relevant, but
Yeah,
if you have
mission
any-
directive.
I don't have any determination right now, unfortunately.
Well, look at that. I do. I'm gonna use my command to move. Now you have a determination.
Hey, there you go.
Perfect.
You're probably going to get that back, because I'm about to spend some threat to add dice to my pool.
Oh, fair.
Oh boy. Okay. I'll spend 3 momentum to add 2 dice to the pool.
Okay.
I can set one of them to a
Momentum.
1. Is that how determination works?
So
Okay.
So 2.
May I assist?
Yeah, if you can tell me how you're assisting.
As my esteemed sibling points out, this is a small craft.
Yeah. You could make it fly like it's a ship or something such.
I can take advantage of the same kinds of principles that I, as a small craft pilot, used to try to evade sensor profile on much bigger and more powerful ships working within systems. Like, that's kind of foundational to Peregrine Doctrine. And so,
They fly the
because it's a
stealth ship.
remote, like, it's just remote, but piloting, but remote, all of the same principles should still apply.
Okay. Yeah, I buy that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I have spent threat, and I am rolling 4 dice for this pool.
Okay.
So that's 3 threat total. So you can definitely get back. If that ability lets you do this multiple times in a game session, you definitely get back that trait, your value. So this is it's a walk off. So go ahead and make your roll. It's an opposed check.
Okay. One of the dice is already set to a 1. So it's already automatically 2 successes. So I roll 3 die.
Yep.
Are we rolling that 10 on Duckling as well?
Yeah. Somebody needs to roll. Somebody needs to roll for the Duckling. Whoever wants to roll a d20.
That's 1 success on Duckling.
Okay, so just tell me what your total successes are.
Okay.
So from me, that is 5 successes. Yeah, 5 successes from me.
Dude, what the fuck?
And from Cadence and Duckling, that's another 2.
Okay, I rolled a 9, a 10, a 15, and a 19. So you absolutely dominated that roll. I got 3 successes.
Look, they
Give me-
tried
off
to
that?
fight back, unfortunately resistant.
You might be shocked at how low the scores are for Borg when it comes to engineering and science.
Nah, remember when like Janeway was like walking right past them, like do
They have a
in their
threat protocol.
own.
They have a threat protocol. They honestly, the collective is what's making the decisions. Borg themselves, when they're reaching out, they're just, it's not as good as they're zombies. When they see the thing is when you're screwed. But seeing you, that's the tricky part. So
No, we're the ones with the
Their whole
brains.
deal,
Okay.
Their whole deal is like our technology sucks. Give us you.
My God,
I
that's
can't
so
build an
true.
iPad. Give me your iPad.
Every time, I know I have to ask this every time, but I always literally forget how it works. So because this is a contested roll, do we gain momentum?
You do. So the way it works is
Difference?
there is the flat difficulty of 1 because it's an opposed check. And then the difference between the 2 is what the momentum you gain. So you have to beat the standard difficulty of 1 to succeed at all. But if you do succeed and cross the threshold, then it's an so you guys got 6 successes total?
7.
7. So you gain,
momentum.
you gain 4 momentum.
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you.
Is any of that bonus momentum? Like, are we
No.
over the cap? No. Okay.
No, we went down to 0 for that roll.
Gotcha.
All right. So the probe,
Never
having
passed
detected this scout craft, immediately begins to speed off towards the edge of the system that is well beyond where this Borg scout craft would have likely have already scanned. I am going to. No. I'm not going to change that. You guys ace that roll. I'm not going to spend any threat for this. You basically got what you were looking for. In this case, the Borg scout craft does not immediately detect the probe as it is moving closer to the planet until the probe kind of lights itself up as it enters atmosphere. The last sensor sweep you get is data feeding back to the ship is that the Borg scout craft has paused and changed its course heading on an intercept with that class N planet, looking like they're going to go investigate what it was that just happened. So everyone on the sphere feels relatively confident that it worked for now, that you bought yourself some time.
All right. Sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we managed to buy ourselves some time, but I don't know how long it's going to be for. In my honest opinion, I think we should engage it while it's distracted, rather than engage it down here.
We have to get so many people out of here.
We can't. I don't recommend putting anyone on the ship while there's a scout actively looking for us.
What is our maneuverability and velocity profile? Like, if we can get everyone out and we just pop out the wrong side of the ocean, can we outfly the big beach ball?
Could you outfly the scout craft?
Yes, that was what I said the
Because
first time.
the scout craft is smaller than the sphere. Could you outfly it? Yes, you could probably. If you could outfly it in the sense that you got the drop on them, so you could outfly them. You could basically get ahead of them, and they wouldn't be able to catch up.
So, plan, we evac to the best of our ability, attempt to outfly, shooting astern of us if necessary, and take advantage of having the initiative. And in fact, use it. We've got to evac, and we're holding the facility stable right now, so we cannot separate and engage.
Oh, we're actively holding the facility with a tractor beam
Because
right now?
Zarya's got the tractor beam on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's what's holding us.
Yeah, so with the tractor beam, basically what it means is when that tractor beam deactivates, it's going to leave the station on an unstable foundation. So
Okay.
while the tractor
That
beam
one.
is activated right now, the station is completely secure. But the moment that thing shuts down, what's up?
Tractivated. Thank you.
Yeah. Couldn't help
Okay, I misunderstood that. I seen that we'd stabilized it, but we just had 24 hours left before it would start falling.
Oh yeah, no.
Actively.
It's on a if you were to deactivate the tractor beam, then the timeline would be sped up. But you would have that so long as you're holding the station in place, the clock is not ticking. Let's put it that way. That's probably
Okay.
a better way to clarify it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, tractor beam on the station. You just finished up. You launched the probe. You've distracted them. Down below, give me one. You guys actually, no, you finished the roll, didn't you? You guys, yeah.
I
So
think so,
down
yeah.
below, you have finished the
Mhm.
alcove and you've managed to recharge the suits. You're making the modifications necessary to put them on and be able to traverse to activate this power plant. Once the power plant is activated, you'll be able to initiate the force field needed to reinforce this place. Then comes trying to get everyone off the station.
Yeah.
That's the next trick. And you've got to do all of this because there's one thing that each and every one of you is certain of. No matter what happens, the Borg are coming. It's where are they going to catch you in terms of this operation when they get here? And that scout ship probably has enough Borg to be a threat to all of you. They're not likely to engage you tactically as a ship. They're more likely to just beam over and start some shit. But more importantly, the scout ship serves the purpose of alerting the collective to where you all are. So the clock is ticking, and that is going to be next episode.
Oh,
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I
This is
forgot we were
fine.
about to end the
Everything's-
episode.
Yeah,
I got scared.
the next episode. The veil has been lifted a little bit. The queen knows that you have all jumped into these bodies and that you're not from here. She knows a little bit about the metagame that's being played. Whether she knows about the Guardian is hard to say, but she knows about the Bajoran orb. She is
And Prism.
knowledgeable of Prism because apparently she assimilated a temporal agent, perhaps the temporal agent that Prism was a device for. So next week, I will say this: all of the successes that you guys had today is going to continue to stack in your favor, making next week is going to be the odds are not against you guys at this point. So
Fight some.
keep up those rolls and those brilliant ideas.
Our resistance is appreciated.
Your resistance is appreciated.
Continues to be appreciated.
Yeah, inevitably a shirt that is going to be coming to the
Yeah,
store
that
at
has
some
to
point.
happen.
The
At
Geek
some point.
Collective. That's
That is going to do it for us tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for joining for this episode under the Sulfuric Ocean. We will catch you next week for some more Ducky Borg action. Until then, friends, hailing frequencies are closed.
Quack.